Imagine that among your circle there are people who can become the main obstacle on the path to inner peace. They may seem friendly, but their influence is destructive. In this video, we will unveil the mystery of Tibetan wisdom and reveal who is dangerous to get close to. This knowledge will change your perspective and protect your tranquility. Like this video and stay tuned, it will be unexpected. The first type is egoists. These people are everywhere and seem bright and charming. Egoists live in a world where there is only one I. They look at others through the prism of their own benefit and perceive actions as a way to get something in return. They always put themselves first. If you ask them for help or understanding, you will most likely be disappointed. On the path to harmony, it is important to surround yourself with people who support rather than drain you. Harmonious relationships nourish the soul and contribute to inner growth. The second type is pessimists. They see the world only in shades of gray, finding negativity in any situation, even if everything seems fine. Pessimists seem to live under a constant cloud they cannot escape from. They bring this cloud into any relationship, affecting those around them. In their eyes, the future is bleak, efforts seem pointless, and happiness is just a temporary illusion. Their mood influences how others perceive the world. Even the happiest moments can lose their sparkle under the influence of a pessimist, and the mood gradually worsens for everyone involved. A pessimist constantly finds flaws even in what seems perfect. Instead of inspiration, they drag you down, making you doubt and worry endlessly. A pessimist seems to block the ability to see joy and light in difficult situations. They overshadow the light, depriving you of the chance to enjoy simple moments of life. Their words and views sow seeds of anxiety and doubt in the soul. Without barriers, these feelings grow, preventing a full and confident life. Is it worth allowing such influence? This question must be asked and carefully considered regarding those who surround you every day. The third type is deceitful people. They skillfully hide their true intentions behind words that cannot be trusted. Their lies can be blatant or veiled. A liar skillfully plays with words, instilling false impressions while hiding the truth. At first, the lie seems harmless, but over time it destroys trust. Over time, lies accumulate, and you find yourself caught in a web of illusions created by the liar, which prevents you from seeing reality and making the right decisions. Being a deceitful person is like wandering in a thick fog. No one knows where the truth ends and fiction begins. This creates an atmosphere of constant distrust and doubt. Interacting with such people causes anxiety and uncertainty. Lies, no matter how cleverly disguised, always leave a mark and destroy trust. Tibetan wisdom highly values sincerity and transparency in relationships. Lies lead into a world of illusions where nothing is permanent or reliable. A liar not only deceives others, but also loses touch with reality, living in their own illusions and creating a false world around themselves. Consider how important sincerity and trust are to you in relationships. They form the foundation for deep and genuine connections with others. If there is someone near you whom you cannot trust, is it worth continuing such a relationship? Sometimes it is better to leave lies behind and seek inner peace. On the path to harmony and inner calm, there is no place for deceit. Honesty is the key to true peace with yourself and those around you. Envious people are those whose lives are colored by shades of envy and resentment. Any luck or achievement causes envious people to feel injustice and anger, destroying their inner world and relationships with others. Outwardly, envious people may seem friendly and supportive, but inside they are consumed by bitterness, which manifests in petty grievances and dissatisfaction. Interacting with envious people causes a constant feeling of judgment, comparison, and condemnation. They express dissatisfaction with small jabs or caustic comments that spoil the mood. An envious person cannot sincerely support your successes. They try to overshadow joy by emphasizing your flaws or exaggerating their own achievements. Tibetan wisdom teaches to rejoice in the successes of others, seeing it as an opportunity for personal growth and development. Envy, however, clouds such perception. An envious person does not realize that they are destroying themselves by depriving themselves of the opportunity to learn and grow, sinking into negative feelings. If there are envious people around, it is a warning sign. They undermine confidence and make you feel guilty about your achievements. Such feelings should not exist in healthy relationships. Envy poisons everything around, so it is important to consider whether it is worth maintaining such connections. The fifth type is aggressive personalities. These are people constantly on the verge of explosion, ready to unleash anger on anyone nearby. Aggressive personalities seem passionate and energetic, but behind this hides deep inner instability. Aggression follows them everywhere. Their aggression affects the environment, creating a tense atmosphere and making others feel uncomfortable. Understanding the nature of aggressive people helps protect yourself and maintain emotional balance in communication. Aggressive people often leave no chance for peaceful conflict resolution. Their emotions can explode over a small reason, like a raging stream sweeping everything around. Communication with such a person causes constant tension and anticipation of a quarrel. You try not to provoke, but outbursts of aggression still happen unexpectedly. These people cannot control their emotions, and anger is often directed at those who least deserve such treatment in their surroundings. In their environment, you will never feel safe, because no one knows when and how their anger will burst out. Tibetan wisdom teaches calmness and emotional control. Aggression is a manifestation of weakness and inability to manage oneself. Being near an aggressive person, you gradually absorb their destructive energy, even if you were initially calm and balanced. This energy is destructive, both for the aggressor himself and for those who are constantly around him. If there is an aggressive person in your environment, it is important to realize how this affects your state and pursuit of harmony. Aggressive personalities are like a storm, destroying everything in their path. To maintain inner peace, it is better to keep away from them. The sixth type of people are manipulators. They skillfully control others for their own goals, acting so subtly that you do not immediately notice the trap of their influence. A manipulator may appear as a caring friend or attentive partner, but behind this mask hides a calculating mind seeking benefit in relationships. They skillfully exploit your weaknesses, causing feelings of guilt or responsibility for their well-being, although they only care about their own interests. Communication with a manipulator is a constant feeling that you are being played, used in invisible schemes, forcing you to do what you do not want. Manipulators make you think that their desires are more important than yours and can be extremely convincing, making you obey their will. Upon closer look, it becomes clear that their actions are aimed at controlling you in the situation, depriving you of freedom of choice. Tibetan wisdom values free will and sincerity in relationships, while manipulation subjugates your will to others' interests. When a manipulator is nearby, you gradually lose the ability to make independent decisions and feel that you are being drawn into others' games. If you feel that your decisions are not your own, that you are being controlled, it is a sign that a manipulator is nearby, and you need to stay vigilant. There may be a person in your environment trying to control you. It is important to understand how this affects your well-being and inner freedom. Manipulators seem harmless, but their influence destroys your freedom. To protect yourself, you need to distance yourself and recognize their methods early on. The seventh type of people are chronic complainers. These are those who see the world only in a negative light and constantly share this with others. Complainers grumble about the weather, work, people, everything that causes their dissatisfaction. Their negativity becomes the background of communication, overshadowing positivity and productivity. Communication with a complainer quickly turns into an emotional routine where you become a shoulder to cry on and find no support for yourself. At first, you try to help with advice and support, but you realize that the complaints are important in themselves, not their resolution. Complainers enjoy the role of the victim, do not look for a way out, but constantly expect support and understanding from others. Tibetan wisdom teaches to appreciate the moment and find joy in simple things, but complaints destroy this aspiration. Complaints turn life into an endless sequence of disappointments, hindering inner peace and happiness. When there is a person next to you who constantly complains, you risk being immersed in their negativity. If you notice that someone in your environment is continuously complaining, it is important to understand how it affects your life and inner state. Constant complaints make life less joyful and fulfilling. To maintain positivity and joy, it is better to stay away from such people unwilling to change. The eighth type is gossipers. These people feed on other people's stories and cannot resist telling them to attract the attention of others. For gossipers, someone else's life is more interesting than their own. By spreading rumors, they try to influence opinions and control the situation. Communication with gossipers leaves an unpleasant aftertaste, even if at first it seems like a harmless conversation about someone. Such talks destroy trust and create an atmosphere of distrust. Gossipers may seem friendly, but their words often hurt. Gossipers easily turn an innocent fact into drama, adding fantasy and presenting it as the truth. Tibetan wisdom teaches us to be mindful and control our words and thoughts to prevent the spread of negativity. Our words and actions shape karma and affect the future. Even harmless gossip destroys mindfulness, generating negativity and distrust in others. When you listen to gossip, you become a part of it, whether willingly or unwillingly involved in others' dramas and intrigues. You lose inner peace and harmony. If someone in your circle constantly talks about others behind their backs, it's important to consider how this might affect your life and relationships. Gossipers create illusions and distrust around themselves. They may speak about you behind your back, destroying trust and purity of thoughts in your environment. To maintain purity of thoughts and relationships, it's better to stay away from those who can't resist discussing others' affairs and gossip. The ninth type is chronic losers. These are people who constantly complain about fate, but do not take action to change their lives. They always look for someone to blame for their problems, bosses, circumstances, friends, forgetting that their failures may be the result of their own actions. Instead of seeking ways out of difficult situations, chronic losers remain in a state of eternal dissatisfaction, attracting negativity and pessimism. They may convince you that your goals are unattainable, pointless, and life is unfair. These thoughts poison you and hinder your development. Tibetan wisdom teaches taking responsibility for your life, seeing every challenge as an opportunity for growth and inner transformation. Chronic losers live as victims of circumstances, not trying to change the situation, only reinforcing their powerlessness and despair. Interacting with such people, you risk losing faith in yourself and the ability to improve your life, sinking into their negativity. If there are those around you who constantly complain about failures but change nothing, it's important to consider how this affects you. To maintain faith in the better and move forward, it is helpful to distance yourself from those who choose to remain in chronic dissatisfaction. The 10th type is people with inflated pride. They consider themselves above everyone and are convinced their opinion is always right and the only correct one. Such people rarely listen to others, as in their eyes, no one compares to them in wisdom or experience. Inflated pride makes them closed off in their own world, where there is no room for others' opinions or openness to change. People who do not allow doubt or self-criticism seek admiration and recognition, but often achieve this by belittling or ignoring others. Communication with such personalities can be exhausting, as they constantly demand attention and admiration, making you feel less significant and devaluing your feelings. In their presence, you may feel oppressed, as if your thoughts and feelings do not matter, and their pride prevents them from admitting mistakes. Instead of constructive dialogue, they prefer to dominate the conversation, trying to impose their opinion and suppress the interlocutor. Tibetan wisdom values humility and the ability to learn from others, regardless of their status or position in society. Excessive pride makes a person a slave to their own ego and hinders personal growth and self-improvement. When such a person is nearby, they can subtly make you doubt yourself and submit to their opinion. If you notice someone in your environment constantly exalting themselves and devaluing others, it is important to understand how this affects your self-perception. Such people can destroy your confidence and make you feel less significant. To maintain inner harmony, it is better to avoid communication with them. So having considered various types of such people and their influence, we can conclude, in life, we meet many different personalities. There are many people in our lives, but not all of them bring light and harmony. Some become unnoticed destroyers of our inner world and energy. Sowing doubts and worries, these people can destroy our peace. Tibetan wisdom teaches mindfulness and conscious choice of environment to preserve harmony. The people we interact with influence our state and life path. Therefore, it is important to avoid egoists, pessimists, liars, and envious people. It is also worth staying away from aggressive personalities, manipulators, chronic complainers, gossipers, losers, and proud people. By protecting your inner peace, you create conditions for spiritual growth and harmony. Everyone deserves an environment that supports and inspires. Remember that your relationships reflect your choices. Fill your life with those who share your values and support you in difficult times. Let only those who help you become better, respect, and appreciate you for who you truly are be on your path. Then your journey to inner peace and harmony will become easier and more joyful. Thank you for watching this video until the end. Subscribe to the channel to learn more about applying ancient wisdom in everyday life, and like the video if you enjoyed it. See you next time.